Alright, I've gotten a decent amount of questions on this channel, and there's one that I think I see a little bit too often. It's not necessarily a bad question. I'm not gonna answer the question, but I don't really think it needs asking. What's your controller settings? What do you like to play on? What's your sensitivity? What's your controller layout? It doesn't matter. There's a pro player in the league right now. His name's Adapting. If we went back to season 2 and 3 and you said the name Adapting, that's the best player in the world. That's the guy, that's the top of the line, that's the best player in the entire Smite community. Why was he so good? He won back-to-back world championships. What sets him apart from everyone else? He had the best mechanics. This means he was pressing buttons better than everyone else pressed their buttons. These are professionals who played this game for a career, and he was just pressing their buttons better than they can press theirs. He'd lock in Fenrir and Thor every game. He'd go in, he'd kill your backline, and he'd leave free, scot-free, maybe half health, who knows. Point is, look at him now. It's season 7, and he hasn't been to finals since season 3. Since the last time he won Worlds, he hasn't been back to a final since. So why'd this change? He's still a mechanical monster nowadays. What changed? Everyone's mechanics are good. Everyone at the top level, at high-end Smite, competitive Smite, flawless mechanics almost. Even the worst teams, even Obey, the team only has about, 1-2 games won? Their mechanics are great. They're great at the game. So why is this relevant? Well, people ask me about my controller settings, and it's like, well, it doesn't really matter. It's more about what you're comfortable with, to be quite honest. You may think, oh, higher sensitivity, having a more efficient controller setting it's better. But if you can't really play at that level, there's no point in making yourself try and play at that level. If you put on max sensitivity, yeah, technically you can turn around faster than other people, but if it's not comfortable and you can't do it, then there's no point to it. If you have On-Her's Impale on normal cast, yeah, sure, it's going to be coming out slower than Instacast, but if you can't hit it on Instacast, then why are you using it? It's like holding a controller as well. I hold my controller with claw, as they call it, the pro gamer style, where you have your index finger on the A, B, X, Y buttons. While technically you can say that it's more efficient, if it's not comfortable, then what's the point of playing it? And that's basically why it's not important. Mechanics are something you can grow and be comfortable with. It's not something that's going to be game changing. I didn't become a master's level player just because I had good controller settings. I got good with whatever controller settings I just felt comfortable with. Same with all the pros as well. If you ask each pro, oh, what are your controller settings? They're all going to tell you something different. It's not going to be the same. There may be some things that are similar, but for me, personally, I have default everything. It hasn't changed since the day I got the game. I think maybe I bumped up my sensitivity just a little bit, but overall, it's just the same. I got to Masters by being a good player, by improving my mechanics, learning the gods, learning how to have a decent-sized ego that isn't too big. I got up to there by being better at the game and its nuance. Smite is a very nuanced game. It's not just, oh, I pressed my buttons better than you. Especially if you aspire to be a high-end competitive player, mechanics are just going to be a necessity. It's more or less just baseline for being good at the game. You want to be improving on the mechanics, but it's not something that, oh, if you're not playing on this layout, you're not going to be good. So that's why I don't like this question. And while you can still ask it, this is another thing on where you can learn. Why am I even asking it? It doesn't really have any impact. You want to be able to find whatever controls you find are comfortable and maximize that to your strengths. You don't want to be asking, oh, what should my sensitivity be? It should be on whatever you like. Instacast, quickcast, whatever works best for you. That's how you're going to improve. That is how you're going to be a better Smite player.